Hello and welcome back to my craft room. If you're a regular viewer, you may remember that just recently I opened a new box from my mate Johnny of Just Johnny Creations. So this is like a little collaboration that we've done in the past. Previously we've filled a little box of crafting goodies for each other, agreed to spend no more than £10. I think we both went over a few times, and challenged each other, gave a prompt or whatever, and challenged each other to do some kind of a arty crafty project. Well, we want to start this up again, but we're changing it up a bit this time. And what we're going to do is make a charity shop makeover. So thrift stores, op shops, whatever you call them where you are, basically buy a bit of old toot from somewhere. I thought of a new acronym for this, T.A.T, because you know how Tom calls everything in my craft room T.A.T anyway. So T.A.T is thing awaiting transformation. Now Johnny sent me an absolutely gorgeous thing. It's not, it's a monstrosity. I'll give you a better look in a minute on my desk. No prompt or anything, I can do whatever I like with it. I've had so many ideas, I didn't know where to start. I thought about a big eye, I thought about a porthole in a spaceship or a porthole in a boat. So many ideas. I finally settled on one, and I've only got 2 days left to get this done now. So and one of them I'm going to be busy with Tom tomorrow, so basically I've got 1 day to do this and film it and edit it. Ooh. But anyway, Johnny won't mind if I'm a bit late. Now Johnny's video has already gone out. I sent him a cute little alien made of vinyl, and although if it was in good nick it would be a collectible, it wasn't in good nick, so there wasn't really any value to it. It's made of vinyl, so he could cut it up, he could add to it, he could do whatever he liked with it really. So if you want to find out what he did with his little alien, check out Johnny's channel. I will link it below. But today it's time for me to crack on with this, and what I've finally decided on after much mulling over is I want to make a little hobbit hole. Now I know I'm walking into a Tom here, because of the ongoing hobbit joke, but secretly I would quite like to be a hobbit living in a cosy little hobbit hole. And I decided this did look like one of the little cute, or could look like one of the little cute windows in how you imagine a hobbit hole. I still had 2 choices to make though. It's two options to choose from. Was I going to be looking in the window or out of the window? So it could be looking out over the Shire, or towards some big adventure or whatever. It could have been in some way depicting the Book of the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings. But in the end I decided what I really fancied doing was looking inwards into this cosy little hobbit hole, and what it would look like if indeed I did live there. So I'm going to be looking into a cosy little sitting room where I would sit and sew and enjoy my first breakfast, second breakfast, 11's, lunch, tea, dinner and supper. Crafting away my days with a little hobbit cat on my knees. So that is what I'm planning to do with this. Okay, first step is to dismantle and clean it. Let me show you first, before I do anything, the full glory of this beautiful piece. Obviously it was a souvenir from Paso Seller. Christine of Create and Craft with Christine told me is in the Dolomites, the Italian Dolomites, hence the mountains. You've got the little, I don't know, mountaineer's hat or something, a little pick thing, a climbing stick, I don't know what it is. Beautiful tasteful piece of foliage here and flowers, and a very faded picture in the background, which when pictures fade to the point where only the blue is left. I mean, was this a coloured picture once maybe and all that's left is the blue, or was it a black and white photo? I don't know. Or a colourised black and white photo, no idea. So anyway, first step is to take it apart. There's nothing on the back, it's all wood. Now I've already had a little prize here to see if it was possible, and it is, so I'm going to carefully take this off. This is actually glass, not plastic, which is great news in that I think it will clean up better, but I've got to be extra careful not to break it. Really hoping I can get those hideous flowers off of there. The rope, it's a bit manky, it's got hot glue on it and stuff. Bits of it might get used in this transformation. I might be able to use it towards making some miniatures. It's very, very stiff though. Or I might just end up keeping that as the base for something else, because it's a lovely circular shape, isn't it? Let's see if we can get this off. Oh, it's absolutely filthy gross. No, it looks like they've done liberal use of glue here. If it's hot glue, sometimes it will just break off quite easily when you want it to, but I've got to be so delicate because of the glass. Really, really, really want to get these flowers off. Otherwise I'm going to have to, because they were just a horrible little plasticky stump there. This bit looks kind of like not bad, kind of enamelled metal looking, the actual flowers, but the stem bit is horrible. Oh dear. I've got to be so careful. I don't want to break the disc just because of these. Ah, no, there we go. Okay, well the actual flowers have come off. I will keep them aside. I have a plan for what I can do with them to incorporate them into the makeover. Really want to be able to get this off. Ooh, get a pair of pliers maybe, very carefully. Okay, so I'm going to take this away and give it a bit of a clean. Off camera. It should come up quite nicely being glass. Let's see what else we've got in here. Now I did think about a few ideas where I could have incorporated these pieces, but in the end I don't think I can really work this into my little room view, so I'm going to keep it, and it will be lovely to use for some kind of a little miniature or doll or something at some point. Yeah, I might even use this as a bit in the makeover. The hat is very cute, and again I thought of different ideas I might be able to do to use it. God, this is all stuck really well. I love that it's got a tiny pom-pom, little trimmed down feather. That's quite clever how they've done that, so it's a normal feather but they've trimmed it down to make it look miniature. It's got this symbol on the front, probably had some meaning, but I don't know what it is. Again, might be able to just incorporate that into kind of background elements in my makeover, or I could keep the whole hat to make a little felted character or something like that. Oops, I have had one other idea that I think would work to bring this into my project. So what I'm thinking is, if I carefully take off the pom-pom and the feather, save them again, they can be worked into the background, and this little piece, I can reshape this and possibly turn it into like a little knitting bag or something. Or now I'm looking at it, I was thinking of making a little felted cat, and now I'm wondering if this could be the basis for the body of the cat. If I take all the bits and pieces off, this would make quite a good basis for a cat shape, wouldn't it? That'd be quite a nice way to use it. Okay, I might be able to, if there's any of these odd bits of moss that aren't too revolting, like that one's still got some green to it, I might just keep a few of those aside, because if I put a little pot plant into my scene, I could use those. Yeah, some of them are not completely brown. Blech, this is gross. It's going to be harder to get some of this out than I thought as well. There's a tiny daisy there. I wonder if I can manage to get that. I might manage to use that. Let's carefully put that to one side. I think I think those have got to go. I did think that if I could peel a bit of this photo up, possibly I could cut out a little section and frame it or make it look like part of a magazine or something. I quite like the bit with the little vintage cars there. But whether I can get this off the background, I don't know. So I'm going to now stop recording for a minute, take this away and clean it up as best I can. And then it's time to start painting my background and my frame. This is just, I think I might do a kind of a green, because if I had a hobbit hole, I think I'd paint the window frames green and I'd have a bright red front door. Well, that was a bit of a battle. I've got this glass as clean as I can, but some of this glue I just cannot get off, not without risking breaking the glass. So I think I'm going to have to put the rope back afterwards. I couldn't get all this off of here either. I'm going to have to put the rope back to finish it off. I thought various things I could do to sort of cover the drawers, because it's not very perfectly fitting either. I thought about putting filler in there, and you know, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute, you've got that perfectly sized shaped piece of rope, let's use that again, and that can just become a decorative element on the window. You won't see this anymore, and I'll put something else here instead. Maybe there'll be a little bird here or something instead. It won't be that manky flower. So I've brought out some acrylic paints. I thought I might go for more of a turquoisey colour instead of a green for the window frame. I've got some green and yellow and turquoise there, and some white of course. And I might do an underlayer on the window of this dark burnt umber, because I feel like if I sand back, if I do the turquoise over the top and sand back to this colour, I think that would look quite nice. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. I brought out some of this old scrapbook paper because I thought that would make nice wallpaper for inside. From my miniatures stash, I've got these two pieces of wood which are for dolls' houses and room boxes and things. So the scale is going to be absolutely rubbish. There's going to be a lot of poetic license here. But I'm going to have a little bit of skirting board there, a little bit of like a picture rail up there. It's going to be just a creamy white above there, and this for wallpaper below there. I've got to fit in a tiny armchair and a tiny bookcase. All of that's got to fit in here. I've sketched it out. I'll sketch this downstairs. I can't be bothered going and getting it now, but in my sketch it did all fit. But it might be that this is way too chunky really, but now I've found it I can't resist it. So I'll want to paint that in there with a white as well. So I think let's go in, let's do this top bit is just going to be a just off white. If Johnny watches this, he's gonna cringe at the state of my palette. Look. I'm going to put the tiniest little touch of yellow. And I was going to paint that across this top bit. It'll need another coat, so it's just the first coat. I'm not going to worry about the fact that there's still paper here and it looks a bit rough, because I think I can't imagine the inside of a hobbit hole would have perfectly smooth plastered walls. I think they'd be a bit rustic. Mine would anyway, and this is mine. So let's just get this first coat on. I'm not bothering sanding or anything. Okay, and that'll dry pretty quick. I'll be able to do another coat in a moment. But meanwhile, let's get a little bit of this isn't going to need to be long. Let's go up to there. Let's get a coat of white on here, just plain white. There we go. One coat might be enough for that one. I could probably get away with just using acrylic paint pens for little pieces like this, but since I've got to get the paints out anyway, I'll save the pens. It's going to be even less of this size because that's going to be lower down. So it would be nice if you could do this when you're painting real skirting boards. It'd be so much easier. They're the worst bit to paint, aren't they? And window frames. Oh, I think the skirting boards are even worse than window frames because they're so low down. So it might be that what I'll do with the window frame is put 3 layers of paint on it and sand them through in places and chip it through in places so it looks like, you know, it's been painted lots of times over the years. So yeah, I plan to have a little set of bookshelves on the right because I always have had little freestanding wooden bookcases in all my houses as an adult where I keep obviously books but also my little knickknacks and things, so it wouldn't be my home without some little bookcases. Maybe I'll even make a miniature version, a miniature copy of the Lord of the Rings to go on the bookshelf. I didn't need to paint all the way down here because it's not going to show anyway, is it? I've just realised I've painted way too far down. Let's concentrate on up here a bit. I think that will do. Don't mind it looking a bit patchy. One of the nice things about doing a project like this where you're taking something that's absolutely gross to start with is you're not afraid of ruining it. It hasn't cost very much money. You can just have a bit of fun and see what happens. So if I was wanting to do a proper, if this was something I was wanting to do a proper lasting paint job on, obviously I'd have to sand it back and stuff before I started. But my plan is to kind of weather this anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. I was thinking possibly for the back I might decoupage some pages from my old childhood copy of Lord of the Rings over the back. I know it won't be seen a lot, but I'll know it's there. And the book kind of finally gave up the ghost after many years of enjoyment and many readings since I think I was 11 when I was first given that book. I think it was my 11th birthday and I loved it because it was my first proper kind of like a grown-up book, really. Big fat tome of a book. And yeah, just over the years it's kind of broken down and it fell apart, and I've kept the covers and everything. I've used little bits of it for special projects, you know, because I can't bring myself to actually just throw it away or recycle it. It's too precious, too many memories in it, you know. It's funny, and I've got books that are I've got books that are really, really old compared to that aren't falling apart, but I'm going to set that aside for now. I know it doesn't look beautiful yet, but I have a vision. Right. Cut this out. That's all dry, that'll drop in. I need to make sure I get it vertical with whatever is going to end up being the bottom. It'll probably be this way. And I need to decide how far down that picture rail's going to come. I don't think much of the floor is going to show, but I'm going to put a little bit of velvet or something to imply carpet. I need to cut the picture rail a bit short of, it can't fit across so exactly because otherwise the glass won't drop in. So yeah, the picture rail's going to have to be a little bit short. Okay. If you just cut it back and cut it across a couple of times and then break it back and forth, that's the kind of quickest way to get through it. What I might think about doing to cover the fact that I can't have, because of the thickness of it, I can't have the picture and the skirting board right up to the edges. I might decide to put an indication of curtains in. I'm not sure yet. Let's see if that works. Okay, I'm going to cut that shape now. So I'm going to finish cutting this to fit and then glue this in, glue these on, because those can go in. There's no reason why I can't get those in. That's my background done then. And I'm going to get another coat on here. This is just slightly tacky now, so by the time I finish cutting this I can give that another coat. I'll do probably a nice sort of turquoisey kind of duck egg blue colour, and then I'll sand back a little bit, and then I might even dry brush with a little bit of white if I think I want to. I'll see how it goes. I've also got this lovely green, so it might be that I mix those two even. I don't know, I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I'm going to get this a little bit further on and I'll be back. Well, I'm just kind of mixing this up, part on the palette and part actually on the frame, and just going for a just sort of random mix of the blues and greens, which I think is quite pretty, and hoping it will look kind of like it's weathered and faded a bit in the end. So I think this pale green together with the turquoise blue and then the odd bit of white is working out quite well. It will probably need another coat. Right, this is all dry now. It's actually the next morning. Well, it's middle of the night really. Gave up trying to sleep and I came back to play. So this is all dry now. I've sanded back some areas of this. I might yet go over with there's still the turquoisey blue but with more white in it, and just kind of dry brush it over to give that a bit more variation. But I'll leave it like that for a minute. So I decided that because of the scale of it, that skirting board bit was too much. It won't be wasted, I'll use it for something else. I'm still going to put the picture rail in just because I like the look of it. I need to add this little bit to indicate a carpet at the bottom. Drawn out roughly what I'm intending. So a little bookcase, little chair, lamp, a lap quilt, felted cat cushion, and there'll be some kind of balls of wool or something I'll be crafting, and some various miscellaneous tat on the shelves and maybe a little picture or something here. What I've got to bear in mind is, because this is such a shallow space, these can't really be very three-dimensional. Everything's got to be really flattened, so like I've got these stirrer sticks to use for the shelves, if that's about as deep as they can possibly get. That might even be a little bit too deep, we'll have to see. This won't be a whole lampshade, it will be a flat-backed bead of some kind probably for the base, and just a piece of corrugated card or something. It will be like, I'll make half the shade. It won't, I haven't got room to make a full cylindrical shade, if that makes sense. So that is the plan at the moment. I'm probably going to go quiet now. I'll just show you what I'm going to use. Now I'll either put words up on the screen if I feel I need to explain anything, or do a voiceover afterwards, because it is the middle of the night, so I'm trying to be quiet. So yeah, I've got stirrer sticks and a lolly stick, and these are those things that come out of those room fragrances. So I'll be using a combination of them. Just a little bit of felt, a little small felt square that I'm going to use for the carpet in a minute. I've got really simple tools. A bit of sandpaper, emery board, scissors, craft knife. I've got the back of a notebook because this card is quite handy. This is some kind of packaging stuff that I saved, which I think might be handy in the construction of the kind of armchair. I'm going to use this fabric. This was amongst the ones that Kim sent me. I just thought it was really nice as the base of my armchair. I've also got a bit of this fun foam, you know, it's the kind of stuff you can get it in the pound shop and stuff in the kids' activity section, you know. So there's nothing fancy here at all. I'm going to go quiet now and carry on working on this, and see you at the other end. Right, I'm gonna stop there for this video because I think it will go on quite long enough. Kind of feel like for the scale I'm gonna put some more shelves in here. I can slot them in easily enough, and then I'm going to have a lot of fun filling up the shelves with lots of little things that I've got. So I've got things like this tiny shell, and I did think this bottle, but now I realise this bottle is way too big for the scale. Look. But yeah, I will dig through my little miniatures drawers and see what kind of bits and bobs I've got to fill up these shelves. I want to make a little stack of books, but I won't make books in the way I'd normally make for a miniature. I will have to do just kind of the spines again. They'll need to be very shallow. I haven't stuck this table in yet because I want to put a little cloth on it before I stick it in. I've got glue all over the place here, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to put a little throw over that. I'll see if I can find some sort of tweedy kind of woolly type fabric, a little scrap that would look like a blanket there. I think that'd be nice. And I'll make some little balls of wool and things, and I'm going to felt a little cat to go over the top, I think. So yeah, I'm going to stop it there for now. I'm not going to come up and say goodbye because it's actually early hours of the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I came to play in my room instead. I'm in my PJs with my hair all over the place, even more than usual, and nobody needs to see that. So, but just to give you an idea of how it's going to look, it's not at all hobbit holy, I don't think, yet. It might be once I've filled it up a little bit more, but it's a cute little miniature room scene, and it's, yeah, my idea of a cosy little room I'd like to be sitting in. I've just broken my table. Never mind, I'll fix it in a minute. Maybe for my thumbnail I'll see if I can do a before and after. I don't think the camera's going to like the glass very much, so I need to get hold of some moss, I think. I'm quite happy with that. I'm annoyed with the glue all over the place, but yeah. Thanks very much to Johnny for this challenge. It really was a challenge, but I've really enjoyed the process so far, and I will come back really soon to show you how it's turned out when I've filled it up with all the little bits and pieces. So yeah. Thanks very much again to Johnny. Don't forget to check him out. I'll put a link to his channel in the description box, and thank you very much to all of you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Something a bit different for me. Bye, see you again soon.